hopefully, and a selection of other parts. It's a CG Motorsport twin plate clutch, a braided clutch line, standard bolts which we won't use, that's obviously the thrust bearing or the race bearing, and we have a new slave cylinder in there, and we're going to use these flywheel bolts. Look like a gun cartridge from 4-piston racing. And in here we have a new master cylinder for the clutch, which is off an EM1 I believe, because it doesn't have a delay valve in it or whatever it's called. And also, right as well, this has a Wavetrac LSD in it, so we're going to change the gearbox as well. We actually think my gearbox is making a slight noise possibly, so there you go, but that's just the way it goes with these. I don't expect this one to last much longer, and I'll probably get the one in the car rebuilt actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sense, yeah.
Fair enough. Be handy if nobody had put like big pipes in the way.
So yeah, so to take the gearbox out, if it was NA, you'd probably have already finished by now.
Yeah, battery out and just unbolt it and away you go.
Yeah, but
never mind.
There's a couple of extra little bits and pieces, but not too many, you know, mostly just a big Chinese snail over there.
I'm hopefully the Chinese snail stays.
Yeah, it isn't hard to take off, however, but yeah, hopefully.
I mean, once you get pipes off, this off, boost pipe, you should be able to get into it anyway. So.
I reckon you can, like. So I think what we'll do is we'll get off everything off the top first, and then first off we'll disconnect the battery, I'd say, just in case anything goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, it shouldn't do.
Where is the... Oh, it's in the boot, isn't it? Should we leave it or not? Because we're going to have to take the earths and stuff off anyway, aren't we? So.
Yeah, can do. It's always better to be safe, I suppose. There is some fuel and stuff down here, so just to make sure.
But yeah, that's it. So a really unexciting job for a Saturday morning. About as fresh as you can be after 12 hours of work. But yes, look at that.
Sorry, it's upside down.
Yeah. And you should show its twin sideness as well as the... Oh, look at that. So hopefully this will be a lot better than the standard clutch, because this car... Hey, check that, I need a bloody haircut, don't look at that. 90s curtains. This car still has its standard clutch in it, and it's still surviving somehow.
I must admit, for double the power, I don't know how it's actually survived.
No idea either. Not complaining, but it's probably better to change it now before it does die, because I don't exactly drive it that easily. But anyway, we might do this some sort of random time lapse with some music and high speed and stuff. That's probably a great idea, isn't it?
I think that's a way forward.
Let's do that. Cool. Is that the phone already?
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's been annoying. I haven't done anything really. I think I've loosened 2 bolts, but
You make it look good with your curtains.
That's it, aye. Keeping it 90s. But
that one's a tight one.
that's a tight one. The mounts are off. Well, there's the front mount off, isn't it? Front mount's off, back mount's off. Unfortunately, somebody ran the oil feed and return through the mount, through the gap in the mount, so that had to come off. That was a bit annoying. One of the bolts is actually bolted from the other side, which we found out. We'll have to try to loosen that welded one. But once this drive shaft is off, there's very little left to come off. I think it's basically the clutch line. That's probably about it, isn't it?
Yeah, the serve cylinder.
Yeah, the serve cylinder and a couple of bolts. I believe that's it. I don't think there's much else. We'll obviously check there's any wiring in the way, but I don't think there is. Looking at that, it looks about right. So we've got one mount left up there, and obviously the one on the top, keeping it in. It's just the split shaft, which had a really tight bolt, which Steve's got out because he's much stronger than I am. And there we go. The time lapse of this should look quite good, hopefully. I'll be standing around my hands in my pockets. we are, one gearbox off. This will be exciting to see how this clutch is fared up actually. If it's going to be reasonable or not. If it's alright, I'll keep it. You never know. Might come handy for a jazz. If it's knackered, it'll go in the bin.
I'm going with bin.
Yeah, I'm going with bin as well. So this is the clutch that came out of it. We believe this is a standard clutch, we're not sure. We think. Yeah, like a
OEM replacement, I think.
Yeah, that's what we think. It's not been that bad actually. It's got hot, but it's not got.
I don't even think it's been that hot, to be honest. I have seen where these are like heavily coloured.
Yeah, true.
Where they've been slipping, but.
And even the flywheel itself not that bad. Actually.
I'd say all in good condition. All in really good condition, considering, like I say, double the power that's been put through.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to keep this.
There's not excessive wear on it or anything like that. So
no,
happy days.
at all. I mean, it's starting to get down there on the very edges, but it's not that bad really, that at all. No. It's got life left in it, decent bit I think. I'll keep that for a possible future project. And then, fit of Yorkshire's finest. I think it's Yorkshire, I hope it is, I'll sound a bit daft. Pretty sure it's Yorkshire. Have a look at that. It's 2 discs. Which should survive. It's got to go in there. Which again, that main seal's not leaking, which is
not
positive.
at all good.
So I'm happy with that. That's one positive. There are other oil leaks on the engine, but we'll ignore them. It's quite a shiny looking thing, that, isn't it? So,
shiny.
What we got here?
Not so shiny, but really nice new bolts.
Arcs. We'll mention this, won't we? Where's the bit of paper then? Here it is.
There it is.
Right, it says quite clearly, Loctite thread locker or similar is not recommended. We install them dry. Well, I'll put a bit of Loctite on. Well, it can't harm it, can it?
No, I don't see how it would.
So, I think it would just be a little bit safer. It does say don't, but we'll see. What brand of Loctite is this you're using?
It's supported by our old school roots.
Oh yeah. GM.
All good.
You should get your torque settings, by the way, with your bolts for whatever you're using. So these say 110 foot-pounds, which is the same amount of torque as a standard Civic. It's about the same, isn't it?
I think it is actually.
This is a video. Well, Steve especially is still calm.
Give it 5 minutes.
Yeah, because we've now got to get the spline of the gearbox through the spine of the 2 clutches without lining them up with a tool, because we didn't have a tool. It didn't come with a tool. So it was done with a socket and Cumbrian eye, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Are you technically Cumbrian or not? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
I am.
I'm not.
Does that go that way?
There's one there to have a look at.
Yeah, it's got to go that way. Can't go any other way.
Got to go inwards.
Yeah. So we'll have a grease on that one. Very greasy on that one. Just to go that way. Just as well, actually.
On the shaft.
Just as well. Might as well just give it a little bit of help. Not too much.
Just enough.
Just a smidge. Are we through? Ish. What am I doing? What am I doing? Doing it wrong, that's right. I picked it up the wrong way around. Idiot.
You picked it the wrong way around, didn't you?
Picked it up the wrong way around, Tot.
You got it right now?
I think so. After I looked at it to start with. Oh, what? I'm completely getting this the wrong way around now. I'm looking at it completely back to front.
Yeah, that's right there.
We can edit this bit out, right?
Well, we can keep this for the bloopers reel. Hey, look at that.
It just fell in when it was the right way around.
First time. First time.
God damn it!
Boot.
A boot?
Boot. Looks good. Boot. Right, so I've replaced the cable bracket on there, so we're good.
Cool.
That was the only thing that was missing.
That's good. That pivots nicely, that slides nicely.
Days that are happy.
New bearing. Looks all good. Battery.
Right, so
Oh, we're back. We're back, are we?
yeah, we're talking about
Once
this
again,
with the
Renegade.
disaster.
Yeah.
We're talking about, we weren't talking, we're going to show you, this is our special clutch lining tool that we made up. Well, I say Steve made it up out of a washer. With the twin disc, it's quite annoying to line up with no tool, so we use that.
It's not like a dishwasher either.
No, it's not, no. Use that, line both plates up, tightened it all up, it was miles out of line, did it again, miles out of line, did it again, miles out of line, did it again, it was closer, sort of went on, sort of in line, did it again, went in, no bother, but each of those times we lifted the gearbox in that as well. So that was good fun. But it's now in, it's done, gearbox is in, one mount's on.
We put the right gearbox in?
Yeah. Jesus, right. We panicked there. So yeah, so now we can refit stuff because that is the right gearbox. Oh dear, had me worried there. Where's it gone to now? Lost it. Right, so having a look now at fitting the braided brake clutch line, which is down here. And what we've done is we can run this around the driver's side. So instead of it going all the way along the back there, between the heat shield and across the gearbox and in the way of all the other stuff, this braided line, you can run it all the way around there. You can see it there, follows the way down there, and then straight there, which I don't know if you can see that, into your slave cylinder, which to be honest with you is a lot easier and it's away from the heat as well, which is another thing moved out of the way of the heat. So yeah, gearbox was an absolute nightmare. I've also got this off, and I think it's an EM1 to fit, which is going to be a pain in the arse as well, just because getting into the car is going to be an arse, but I'm sure we'll manage it somehow. And that's pretty much it, really.
One other little issue is our time lapse, which is going on behind us.
Yeah.
May have actually been switched off for the last half an hour, so there might be a little bit of a jump in our time lapse videos. Just found out hasn't actually got a battery in the GoPro.
Yeah. But to be honest with you,
never mind.
It's
only about half an hour.
We had a few issues anyway, so all you'd have seen is us taking the gearbox back out for a
We'll
reason.
edit this bit out as well.
Yeah. We won't tell you why we took the gearbox back out, but yeah, we had to take the gearbox back out. So yeah, so next up is to sort that and then bleed the clutch up and then pretty much reattach all the other crap. Cause
keep going.
Yeah, keep going pretty much. So cool.
Yes. Be enough to get a splay on that end though.
Yeah. So we've had to swap the union. It goes there for your pipe to go onto the new master cylinder, I guess. Is it a master cylinder? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Then what you've got here is you've got like it's kind of like a sort of like a split. So you just kind of hammer a little slot in there, and it bends that through, and then that stops that coming back out again.
Not the ideal tool for it, but let's see if it works.
Ah, it looks good, doesn't it? Yeah. And I get a little big one. Been an incredibly long day, hasn't it, Steve? Yeah.
Long enough.
Way too long.
Especially for a clutch.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But everything's back together. The clutch is bled. I say everything. The wheels are still to go back on. That's to go back on, and some random bits of pipe. But everything else is genuinely back together.
Streamer pipe.
Oh yeah, streamer pipe
Streamer
as well.
pipes to go back on. Fuse boxes to go back in.
Yep. And then actually we only got we've got the bolts for the mounts, the front and back mounts to do. And that's it. And then that's virtually nowhere near ready. But yeah, it's been an incredibly tough day on the Civic, like normal. Awful. But hopefully it'll be worth it. If it's not, I'll set fire to it. No, I won't do that. But yeah, it's challenging, to be honest. Fit a twin plate clutch is not an easy thing to do at all. It's been an absolute nightmare. If you have an alignment tool, which if they exist, I imagine they probably do, but I couldn't find one, it'd probably be a lot easier. As it is, a washer ground down with a belt sander kind of saved the day. Yeah, so we'll probably finish this here, even though we're going to put the rest of it back together, and then we'll make a video of it running and driving with this limb slip diffing, and then we can start turning the power up a bit more as well. I imagine this clutch is going to be a nightmare, because Steve said, what did you say it was? It was heavy.
Oh, aye. Yeah, left leg's definitely getting bigger than your right leg.